Okay guys, so thanks to the work of a couple people, we can now do Lunpa Fortress entirely without Cloak, which is kind of interesting. It opens up a number of possibilities in the 100% categories, at least the ones that don't commit ace. So big shout outs to two people. First person, Solidified Gaming. She found the original way to get into Lunpa Fortress without poison. I'm suggestively standing outside because we're going to basically do a setup to get there. And the other person is Drifting Pancake, who has been obsessing over a kind of a gate clip technique, and he eventually has found a way to, well, he found a useful application for it, and then we've gone away and scienced the exact mechanics behind it. So I'm going to present all of that, and it's going to be probably a bit lengthy because it's going to take me a while to explain all of the things in detail. Hopefully I can get the tricks first try, but it is a little bit complicated. So first part, dealing with getting into Lunpa Fortress. So this trick is pretty straightforward. We want to kind of get here at just the right moment. You can kind of see my PP regen counter here is at 39 and 40. When it hits 40, I get a tick of poison. And if you are in the right position at the right time when you get the tick, you can trigger this guard text. They push you out, and you can just run around into the fortress, which basically permits you to get in here without needing Cloak, which is obviously very, very good. Okay. Doing this is kind of hard. You can just run around and kind of accumulate PP regen like I'm doing now. Kind of get close and just kind of finagle your way in. And sometimes you can get it, sometimes you can't. I wanted to get something a little bit more consistent than this, so this is what I came up with as my way of doing it. First step is just run straight right. So that's easy. Next thing is I want to pay attention to these little two dark bits here. What I'm going to do is with Isaac, I'm going to run right in here and then kind of turn when I hit these dark bits and run straight up. Then during the cutscene when these guys align themselves, I'm going to kind of adjust my line based on how far away I am from the spears. So then I'll kind of run up left for a brief moment and try and align right in the spears, and if I do everything correctly, I'll end up right there and hop through. So let me try to do that again, running straight left until this region, up, then I'm going to do up left to correct, and then straight into the spears. Okay, I can kind of see that my line's a little bit off. I need to go up left a little bit, and there we go. It's quite an easy way to do it, so that worked. I'll do it one more time. Up. Okay, a little bit less alignment this time, but easy. That setup works pretty consistently for me, and yeah, that'll allow you to get into the Lunpa Fortress without needing Cloak. If you do want to get Tonic, you're going to actually have to keep poison on somebody for this. I'm just going to take poison off for the sake of my sanity, but just keep in mind you will need poison to do that trick a second time if you plan on coming back in to get Tonic. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to come around over to here, which is the next trick. This is the bit that Drifting Pancake figured out. So if you align yourself just right and interact with this object, you can kind of see how Isaac kind of keeps moving as he runs into the door. If you position Isaac correctly, do I have one that works? You can kind of clip yourself up, and eventually you end up here. Yeah, I don't know if I have one that's set up correctly, but that's fine. Maybe this will work. There you go. So there you go. So if you position yourself just correctly, you can just clip up and interact and get onto this gate. Then you have to get down, and that's another drama, but we'll bear with me, we're going to do this one thing at a time. Again, this trick here is really annoying. I've got my memory viewer up here. This here is the Y coordinate. So the hard bit about this trick is actually getting up into this gate. Your Y pixel, it has to be accurate to within 1/8 of a subpixel. For context, when you're moving, you're usually limited to 1/4 of a subpixel, so this is particularly difficult to kind of access, but using some tricks from Dark Dawn, I've actually found a way to get the right subpixel and make this work. So bear with me, this one's going to be a little bit complicated, but it can work. The X coordinate doesn't really matter, it's very lenient, you just kind of have to be generally in this kind of range here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pixels tolerance, not a big deal. It's the Y pixel that's incredibly precise. So again, we have to deal with about 1/8 of a subpixel. And basically, where's my save file for this? basically you can kind of see here this coordinate. So these first 4 values, that's like your pixel value. So if I change this to say A, you can kind of see how Isaac jumps forward. I say Matthew because I'm thinking Dark One. So this thing here controls which pixel. These ones here are our subpixels. For this trick to work, we actually need our subpixels in a very particular range. And that range kind of goes from about 5E70 down to about 3F57. Not EF, it should be 3F. So kind of 2000-ish in hex in range. And that's kind of precise. If you watch how I move, you'll kind of see these things increment in annoying increments. So the trick here, because Dark Dawn has a lot of subpixel tricks, I wanted to see if there's some movement tech that we could apply to kind of figure this out. The answer is yes, there is. What I figured out here is that what you can do is if you just tap, you can kind of see how my subpixel is preserved. Right? So all I need to do is find a way to get my subpixels here into that 3D, that correct range, and then we can do the get the Y subpixel in the right place, then tap vertical movement in order to retain that subpixel so we can get to the right position for the gate. Okay, simple enough. How do we do that? Well, there was a you can do one thing here. You can just like take one walking step down, like a literal 1 frame input down, and you can kind of see that my subpixels are kind of in the right location, and that will work. But doing a 1 tap input is not easy, and I wanted to try and get rid of that. What I found was if you actually just hold down for a little bit, look at my subpixels now. They're now in this like F range, which is where I want them to be. So basically, anywhere around like this region, if you just run straight down, your subpixels are going to be okay. So the trick is going to be, we run down for a bit, and then look, hey, look, my subpixels look okay. Then we're going to go run right. Very important we don't clip the edge here. If we clip this edge and get a diagonal movement, it's going to ruin our subpixels. And then we get into this location. So more or less aligned with the gate. Now we're going to tap to keep that subpixel until Isaac's hair gets right aligned with this thing here. Isaac's hair spike, when he's not looking around at least, aligns just below this object. This indicates that I'm on the 8 pixel band. I want to get to the 7 band, and then I want to come back 1 tap. So I'm going to again just tap. Alright, and now I've gone, but you can kind of see that my pixel position updated a little bit. I've gone into the 7 range and I'm okay. What I want to do now is, now that I'm in this location, I want to do a 1 frame input to go backwards. So again, holding B, I want to tap down for exactly 1 frame, and if I do it correctly, I'm going to be in the right position. I did not do it correctly. Let's try again. Good thing is, as long as I'm tapping, we can fix it. I got diagonally pushed. If you get diagonally pushed, it usually breaks it, but that's fine. Okay, we're back in the 7 location. I'm gonna try and get this 1 frame. There we go. I got the 1 frame tap down. Now that I've done the 1 frame tap down, all I need to do is press up and A, or while holding B, press up and A on the same frame, and up we go. Cool. So that's half of the trick. We are now inside Lunpa. We are on top of this gate, and now we need to get down. Getting down is actually a little bit easier. There is this little white marker right here. This is the thing that's going to basically give us our X and our Y alignment. For this trick, you have about a pixel of tolerance, but that pixel of tolerance is kind of split over 2 different pixels. So we can use that the visual distinction between the 2 pixel boundaries to kind of line ourselves up. So we know it's like kind of on the right side of 1 pixel, the left side of the other pixel, so we can kind of shimmy between those 2 pixels. Alright, let's do that. The easiest way to do this is to first figure out our Y alignment, and then we can worry about a horizontal alignment. So for the Y alignment, I want Isaac's shadow to just clip this top here. They're coming down, and just like that. So now I've got the correct Y alignment. We can actually go 1 Y pixel lower. This pixel or this pixel will work. It doesn't really matter. We want to be on the upper side of this pixel and the lower side of that pixel. Doesn't really matter which one we're on. It'll work in either way. Now we need to get our X position. Now the X position is again a little bit tricky. I'm looking for this straight edge, this leftmost straight edge of this white shadow here. I want that to align with this little bit here of Isaac's shadow. Now I can either, again, align it exactly on the shadow or 1 pixel forward, and either of those will work. So now that I've got this, let's take this out. So this here, this would be the correct X pixel, or this would be the correct X pixel. We want to be at the right side of the left one and the left side of the right one, so we're probably in the right position now. In this position, all I need to do again is press up and A at the same time, and that will happen, and then you can fall off. And we're through. That's a lot of information. I have collated this basically into a spreadsheet that I'm going to put in the description of this video. Once you have done this, you can come up here, you can get the key, you just fight this guy, get the key, and once you've got the key, you can kind of get through the rest of the fortress without a problem. Get the key, run up here, get the key, clear to Lunpa, come back in here, run back up here, you can get Tonic without an issue. That allows you to do Cloak before even entering Tolby, before Colosso. Really helpful, really cool trick. Huge shout out to Solidified Gaming for the original skip that got us in here without Cloak. Huge shout out for Drifting Pancake. He is continually putting in work trying to break this game, and we finally got a break here that's kind of useful. And shout outs to myself for figuring out these setups because they are crazy. I can't believe we actually have a trick now that is 1/8 of a sub-pixel precise, and we have a setup for it. So yeah, cool tech. Don't know how useful it'll be, but it might turn up at 100% no save and quit in the near future. Yeah, check out the spreadsheet in the description, and yeah, have a great day. Enjoy the tech.